He was once the sixth richest man on the planet, with a net worth of $42 billion. He once was. He was once a household name, and everyone used to admire how he kept fit at 40. He ran the marathon. He would be seen jogging along Mumbai's Marine Drive early in the morning. But that was then. He had a flamboyant lifestyle not seen earlier with someone who bore his family name.
We now have 6.6 million subscribers.
His companies were spread around the world. He once supped with the who is who of the world of international entertainment and commerce. He no longer does. Since those heady days, the world of Anil Ambani has been on a roller coaster ride of rising tumbles and dipping falls, as steep inclines made up of failed deals, comeback ventures, allegations and court cases marked his business ventures. And then in July 2025 came the raids. When the family patriarch Dhirubhai Ambani died in 2002, he left no will and no clear picture of who would control what of the Reliance empire that he had created. The future of the Ambani enterprises hinged on the family sticking together. It was not a difficult scenario to imagine. In their younger days, the brothers, with just 2 years separating their entry into the world, shared a rapport. Those who had seen them say that they had chemistry between them, the good kind. Some say that the brothers used to finish each other's sentences. Everyone thought that eventually they would take over from their father and run the empire together. Anil Ambani, the younger brother, had gone to do his MBA at the prestigious Wharton School of the University of Pennsylvania. He had completed a BSc at Kishan Chand Chelaram College in Bombay earlier. When Anil returned to India with his MBA, his father made him a CEO of Reliance Industries. But many an empire in history split brother away from brother, and what happened at Reliance was no different. Their father, the self-made tycoon, died suddenly and interstate of a stroke, and his sizable fortune and corporate holdings were up for grabs. Behind closed doors, brother fought brother, but the animosity and the bickering began to leak out, events that were not good for business. It was Mother Kokila who had to mediate an acceptable split between the two belligerent siblings. Mukesh got oil and chemical, and to Anil's lot fell electricity and telecom. While Mukesh Ambani retained the traditional core businesses, Anil Ambani took charge of the more glamorous new age businesses. He formed his own Reliance Group and named it Anil Dhirubhai Ambani Group, or ADAG in short. ADAG soon became one of the largest business conglomerates in India, valued into billions of dollars. It suited Anil Ambani's ambition to grow and expand enterprises which were exciting and full of promise, like communications and entertainment. He first acquired a majority stake in AdLab Films, which he later rebranded as Reliance Media Works. In 2008, Anil Ambani announced a $1.2 billion joint venture with Steven Spielberg's DreamWorks Studios. It was the biggest and most significant Hollywood collaborations in Indian cinema history. Anil Ambani's entertainment business was part of big successful Hollywood productions like the Academy Award-winning Lincoln and the BFG, The Girl on the Train, and Ready Player One. Over the years, Reliance Entertainment became a significant force in global entertainment production. But Anil Ambani's entertainment empire was not just about film production, it was also about film screening. The Anil Dhirubhai Ambani Group included big cinemas that at one time operated 468 screens across India, the United States, Malaysia, and the Netherlands.
In a little over 3 years,
Anil Ambani's flagship company was Reliance Communications,
we have turned
which initially revolutionized the telecom industry in India. Driven by aggressive marketing and competitive pricing, Reliance Communications captured a chunk of the market, operating mobile and broadband services throughout India. It soon became the country's second largest mobile operator. This was Anil Ambani's golden period. His personal wealth grew from somewhere in the range of $7 billion to a peak of $42 billion by 2008. Forbes magazine placed him as the 6th richest person in the world. His success and his wealth made Anil a flag bearer of India's economic emergence on the global stage.
I request the members to permit me to take the notice convening this meeting as well as the...
He was seen as a youth icon and a visionary business leader. Photographs of the flamboyant Ambani with his former film actress wife Tina Munim regularly made it to the page 3 supplements of newspapers. Their 1991 wedding had been a grand affair that marked one of the biggest mergers of Bollywood glamour with business dynasty. As Anil Ambani partied with film stars and lived an evidently lavish life, all seemed to be going well with him. He was even elected to the Rajya Sabha in June 2004 as an independent candidate from Uttar Pradesh with the support of the Samajwadi Party. But he resigned 2 years later. On the business front, Anil Ambani was expanding his newfound empire at a brisk trot.
In India's march towards self-sufficiency in power, only if we have the financial flexibility and strength to make substantial investments over long periods of time.
Having Dhirubhai as a predecessor and Reliance as a brand name helped. Banks lined up to fund Anil Ambani's ambitions. But every business is run on the promise of profit. And profit it was that was not forthcoming. One by one, Anil's ventures began to run in the red. By 2010, it became evident that Anil's businesses were struggling. In 2011, the CBI launched a probe into Anil Ambani's links to Swan Telecom. It was suspected that Anil had diverted funds in the 2G scam. In 2014, Anil was forced to sell his prized big cinemas to reduce debt taken by Reliance Entertainment. By 2018, Reliance Power's assets had to be sold off. An investment in the Dadri power plant led to legal troubles over land acquisition and drained the company of resources. By this time, the total debt of the Anil Ambani group of companies together had reached 1.72 lakh crore rupees. A year later, in 2019, the jewel in Anil Ambani's crown, Reliance Communications, or RCom, entered insolvency. RCom had backed CDMA technology, which quickly became obsolete. Burdened by loans, Anil had no option but to sell assets to anyone who would buy them or liquidate. "2019 was a tense time for Anil Ambani. He was staring at arrest, as the Supreme Court threatened to imprison Anil Ambani for RCom defaulting on payment of 550 crore rupees to Ericsson AB's India unit. Elder brother Mukesh stepped in to bail him out. Anil faced the ignominy of filing for bankruptcy at a UK court. He declared that he owned nothing meaningful and that his wife supported him and his family. No sympathy was shown by the court, as it ordered him to pay up $717 million within 21 days to 3 Chinese banks that he owed money to. Then came the pandemic, and post that, Anil Ambani's Reliance Group looked set on a journey of recovery. The focus this time was on sectors like clean energy, infrastructure, and defense. Reliance Power in Q4 of FY25 reported a consolidated net profit of 126 crore rupees compared to a loss of 397.56 crore just a year ago. Reliance Infrastructure reported consolidated profit at rupees 4,387 crores in Q4 of FY25, in comparison to a loss of 3,298 crore rupees recorded during the third quarter of FY25. By March 31st, 2025, the Anil Ambani-led conglomerate successfully reduced its standalone net debt to zero. The company repaid loans amounting to approximately 3,300 crore rupees to banks and financial institutions during the year 2024-25. But all along, trouble had still been brewing. In 2021, Reliance Capital had defaulted on bonds worth 24,000 crore rupees. In 2022, the CBI filed an FIR, formally launching its investigation into the alleged misuse of public funds and corporate misgovernance.
150 crores on the lines.
In 2024, market regulator SEBI banned Anil Ambani and 24 related entities from the stock markets for 5 years. This over allegations of fund diversion. Anil Ambani was also personally slapped with a 25 crore rupee fine by the market regulator. And now, Anil Ambani is back making the headlines again, with the Enforcement Directorate having summoned him in connection with multiple cases. He's being accused of fraud and round-tripping. An alleged associate has already been arrested.
The money was given to promoter group entity which were offshore and then subsequently rerouted or brought back into the country, which is called round tripping, and that is fraud. As such, banking definition of fraud itself is that the money given by banks is intended for purposes which are not for the intended use. So channelizing or siphoning of funds to various promoter entity itself is fraud.
The ongoing ED probe is now one of the largest corporate loan fraud cases under investigation. A lookout notice has been issued by the ED for Anil Ambani, meaning that come what may, he cannot leave the country. He has to stay and face the allegations being leveled against him and his way of running his businesses.
I think all of this is presently in the realm of allegations. The ED has had a very checkered history in making all sorts of allegations in many cases, and we've seen how those prosecutions have gone. So with that sort of, caveat in mind, with that, history in mind, I think even in this case, let's just look at the allegations first. They're saying that certain loans have been taken by Anil Ambani controlled entities, and that those loans were subsequently passed on to other group entities or other entities connected and associated with Anil Ambani's companies. Now, merely utilizing debt that has come in, among other group entities does not mean some offense under the Money Laundering Act has been committed. Now, unless and until there is a proper full-blown investigation, there is some proof or evidence that suggests that deliberately some wrongdoing has been done or that siphoning was intended, to jump to a conclusion at this stage, I think would be highly irresponsible.
For someone who used to run marathons, Anil Ambani must be feeling he's back on the grueling path once more. Running a different kind of a marathon this time, having to contend with allegations and accusations leveled against him. Everyone is waiting to see whether Anil Ambani will make it to the finish line in one piece, or will he fall by the wayside, becoming the Ambani who went to jail for fraud and cheating.